everybody's favorite prospect among the Pistons fans is Emoni Bates. But why do you believe Emoni Bates gets talked about getting drafted so high among Pistons fans? Because there are Pistons fans out there that want them to use the fifth pick. I don't know if they're trolling when they say that, though. I don't know. It feels like they're serious, but you never know. They could be trolling. But why do you guys think Pistons fans are just so high on Emoni Bates? Armen, you can answer this first.
Yeah, okay, so I think it's just more so a misconception with those fans because they've thrown Imani Bates, not them, but like the media has thrown Imani Bates as this next Kevin Durant since he was 14 years old. Which, and again, at the same time, that's never okay. I never like when they throw on kids that are so young these worldwide expectations that because most of the time it's never going to pan out unless you're LeBron, and that was the only time that's ever panned out. But so since Imani's been 14, 13, and he was a problem then, but his game kind of never, advanced. He never really grew as an athlete, and obviously doesn't have the craziest wingspan either. So he's reliant on his tough shot making to really get by, and he was not he wasn't the most efficient player. So I mean, there's concerns obviously, and he's definitely not a top five talent or even a first round in my opinion. But it's just he's from Michigan. He's been in the media as a generational esque prospect since he was 14, and obviously that hasn't panned out. But I guess that's like the only reason why I guess Pistons fans are still attached to Monty. I honestly I think we see it every single year with highly ranked guys coming in that don't pan out. I mean, Brandon Boston back in 2021 had a lot of fans saying he should go lottery just because he was hyped up to be a top five, top 10 pick. So that's just kind of how it goes. But I don't know. Maybe at 31, I wouldn't prefer. I wouldn't want Imani at 31, but
Same.
I would definitely say that would probably get the fan base really hyped up for that.
Let me ask you though. So this is what I've been saying. Like if I'm in Emoni Bates' ear and I'm a team that drafts him, I've said this a couple of times on this podcast. I would just have him watch film of Duncan Robinson, Kyle Korver, and JJ Redick because you're not whoever drafts him or signs him because I think it's closer that he goes undrafted over being drafted. I don't think you're not going to bring him in and be like, you're going to be the guy. We're going to give you the ball. The handle's too loose. I don't think he's that great at creating his own shot, but he does have a good enough jumper where I think if you just taught him some great footwork and taught him how to come off of screens to get that shot off, he could probably have a solid career in the NBA. I don't think he's going to blow you away, but as a shooter and a guy that can move without the ball, I think that's a role for him. How do you feel about that? Is that a decent assessment or is that way off in your opinion?
No, that's right on. Because I mean, as I see it, is there's no way in hell any NBA organizations letting him be the number one, number two, number three, number four. It doesn't matter. The point is he's gonna have to adapt and find a way to not be the guy anymore. You have to be an off-ball guy. You have to move without the ball. And he's shown flashes in Eastern Michigan to be an off-ball movement shooting kind of guy. But in his head, it's just I'm the guy. I'm gonna get my own shot. So he's going to have to adapt. He's going to have to find ways to score without him having the ball in his hands. And that's the only way I see him playing day one in the NBA. I think it's more likely he drops 30 a game in the G League in his rookie season. And there's no issue with that. It's just in order to really be a legit threat in the NBA for Mani, he's going to have to be more of a movement, off ball kind of guy. And there's times where he can probably get opportunities to be an on ball guy and get his own shot. It's just he's not an NBA athlete, and so that's going to have concerns of him creating his own shot with the limited burst and athleticism, at least.
Yeah, I would just show them like, look how much Duncan Robinson made. Play like this guy, and you're going to walk away with a $90 million contract someday. Why not? But Anthony, why do you think Pistons fans are so high on him?
I think to both of your points, I think it's because he's a local kid. And obviously, I still vividly remember 7 Action News, Brad Galley going to his house, labeling him as the next KD, like at 14 years old. Like, obviously, I did get to cover a couple of his games, and Armand was right in that. He hasn't really improved his game. Like, he is, like, when you watch him, he makes some of the toughest shots that I've ever seen. Like, he's just an elite shot maker, in my opinion. But I don't think he goes first round. If I were to assess his draft position, I think it's like 40s to late 50s. And he might be a undrafted free agent. And maybe the Crews want to sell some tickets. Maybe you want to, sign Emoni Bates and, just run the table with those guys over there. But like, I think it's just a local thing. I think he's really talented. I just don't understand the first round draft buzz among fans saying like he's going to be the next KD. You guys are sleeping on him. You don't know what you're talking about. He's got this deep bag when we know he doesn't really have that deep of a bag. Like he can score, but like everyone's saying he can average a triple double. And I'm like, you guys aren't watching his film at all. Like he does not look to pass often. He's looking to shoot that thing like 30 times a game.
Yeah, I don't know where the love has came from. I mean, I get the whole local playing at EMU coming from Ypsilanti. It's all great and everything. And I thought it was just crazy for people to label him the next Kevin Durant. The moment I watched him, I'm like, when he was in high school, I thought, this is a guy that knows his spots on the floor. He seems like a pretty smart player. I don't know where that went with him though. Like he really became just a volume shooter when he got to college. When I saw him in high school, there were moments where I'm like, dude, he really knows where his spots are. He knows how to get to his spots and he knows how to make them from those places. But when he gets to college, the script flipped on him. I don't know what he was trying to prove. I just think if he had, stuck going the same way, playing the same way like he was in high school, again, just from what I had seen, I thought he would have been all right in college. I think we'd still be talking about a potential first round pick, not a lottery pick, but a guy going in the first round if he had just kept developing the way he was in high school. I don't know what changed for him, and again, I have really no answer for why Pistons fans are so high on him, other than him being from Michigan. I get it, root for the local guy, but let's be real about this. Let's not pass on, a more talented player just because a guy's local.